Hey everyone, today you'll be learning about the parts of a plant cell.
Hello world, I'm Christopher Rodriguez. I'm one of the creators of Animals in Time, and I'm here to give you a 24-part video series describing common scientific topics in ways everyone can understand. I'll be giving you the what, the how, and the why you should care about all these topics. Now, this 24-part series will correspond with Animals in Time Volume 1. However, you do not need to be using Animals in Time resources to benefit from these videos. So, let's get started.
Last week I talked about the parts of an animal cell, but this week we'll focus on the parts of a plant cell. Even though animals and plants look pretty different, they're all made up of cells. However, they have some pretty important differences, as you'll see here. Now, same as animals, every part of a plant is made up of cells. They have flower cells, root cells, stem cells, leaf cells, pollen cells, and a whole lot more. Even though each type of cell has a different job, they all have the same parts. To illustrate this, let me show you my handy-dandy plant cell model. It comes apart in pieces, see? So I need to make sure not to drop. Now last week, I took you on a tour of an animal cell. This week, I'm going to take you on a tour of a plant cell. So let's think of something to use. How about Daniel the duck? Yes, I know Daniel isn't a plant, but ducks eat plants all the time. So let's look at a plant in his tummy. Again, plant cells are super tiny, so let's zoom in a lot. There we go. Now, plant cells are a lot like animal cells, so most of these parts will be the same. I'll go over them again just to make sure you are paying attention. First, we have the nucleus, the big ball in the center. Now, last week, I told you that the nucleus is full of...
DNA!
DNA, that's right. And what does DNA stand for? No, that's okay. Deoxyribonucleic acid is a long word. Like animals, plants have their own DNA that tells the cell what to do. Plant cells have vacuoles, Golgi bodies, and cytoplasm, just like animal cells. Remember, the vacuoles like the stomach that holds things, the Golgi bodies are the post office that packages all the materials, and the cytoplasm is the gel that keeps everything apart. See, I knew you remembered. Now we get to the differences between plant cells and animal cells. Just like animal cells, plant cells have a cell membrane, the outer layer made of phospholipids. Remember those guys? But plant cells also have this thing called a cell wall. If the cell membrane is squishy like the outside of a bubble, the cell wall is hard as a rock. Now, I said the cell wall is as hard as a rock, but that can't really be true, right? I mean, plants move around a lot. Here, I'll show you. I'm gonna sit right here and watch how much this plant moves. Okay, maybe I was right. Plants don't move around that much, and that's mostly because their cells have that cell wall. But if you think about it, plants really do need to be able to stand stiff and strong so that they don't tip over in things like wind and rain, and that cell wall helps them do that. One of the cool things about animals like you and me is that we can move around a lot. That's mainly because our cells only have cell membranes. If we had cell walls too, we get all stiff and fall down. Finally, we have the chloroplasts. Ever wonder why animals have all kinds of colors while most plants are just green? The main reason for that is because plants have these things called chloroplasts, and they're pretty cool. Chloroplasts contain this chemical called chlorophyll, which makes them look green. Also, ever wonder why plants don't have mouths? I mean, some do, like the Venus flytrap, but most don't, right? This is because the chemical chlorophyll helps plants turn sunlight into their favorite food, sugar. Now, next time your mom tells you not to eat as much sugar, just tell her, but Mom, plants eat sugar too. Actually, that might not work. Don't do that. Here's what I think is really cool. Plants have mitochondria, just like animal cells. When plant cells take in the sun's energy, they use their chloroplasts to turn that energy into sugar and then store it for later. Then, they use their mitochondria to turn that sugar back into energy that the cell can use. Isn't that so cool? This is called photosynthesis, and we'll talk about it way in week 12. So plant and animal cells each have their cool parts. As animals, we don't have cell walls, so we can move around a lot more, but we can't turn sunlight into food. We have to eat the old-fashioned way. Bummer. So those are the parts of a plant cell. Nucleus, cytoplasm, vacuole, mitochondria, cell membrane, cell wall, chloroplasts, and Golgi bodies. Next week, we'll start talking about invertebrates. What are invertebrates? Come back next week and find out.